So, guys, welcome back to another reunion video. So, last night's reunion show mm, wasn't so serious. Yes, there was not too serious thing that was discussed aside Amaka and Fina's ish, where they asked Amaka how she felt and why she felt she was betrayed by Amaka. I like the fact that Amaka was able to answer her questions, the questions that were thrown at her, without using vile languages, vile words, without throwing insults. She answered in a very graceful manner, without trying to get into a fight with anyone. She answered her questions the way it was asked, and that was it. Groovy, on the other hand, tried so much to handle the situation in a very good, even while Phyna was coming at him, but he tried to keep it chill. I love that about him. But we can't say same for Phyna. By now already we know that that's who Phyna is. That's how she has always been. But I think viewers expected that by now she should have grown past that. She should have learned how to communicate, without throwing words around, without throwing insults, without showing that real side of her. Okay, so let's just get straight into how the whole episode 5, how it played out, how it started, and all of that. So, from the beginning, Ebuka asked Amaka why she felt Phyna betrayed her. After playing the video of where she had the conversation with Phyna, and she was telling Phyna that she felt betrayed and all of that, but it might not be the same case for her, but it's fine. But that she just doesn't want them to act like they are having issues because of a man, stuff like that. So Amaka explained that her anger was from the fact that she approached Phyna. She told Phyna, I like this guy and I fancy this guy. And Phyna sort of encouraged her to go for him. Like, if you like him, go for him and all of that. So she sent her on an errand to go help her talk to Groovy. Yeah. Then instead of Phyna to go talk to Groovy about her, Phyna went there, and it's a relationship started brewing between Phyna and Groovy. Now, she wasn't particularly angry that Phyna and Groovy are having something, or were having something at the time. Her anger was from the fact that Phyna didn't deem it fit, to come back to her to tell her, see, I'm sorry that, you sent me to do something else and I went there and something else started happening. Which, by the way, is the way it should be. But Phyna now tried to turn the tables around, wanted to pin their issues on something else, on an entirely different thing. And then when she realized that this is not supposed to be happening, she decided to go have a talk with her, to let her know that, see, I'm not angry with you because of the bathroom incident, because obviously they had an issue in the bathroom, but that this is why she's angry. Even though Phyna played dumb, yes, she acted like she doesn't really understand why she should be angry, like it's not her fault and all of that. But Shisha true, and will I call that an apology or an open apology, just anyways, it's in the past. So I feel like what I feel is like I feel like Phyna does not actually understand the fact that she betrayed Amaka. When someone doesn't really believe that what he or she did, it should be enough for you to get angry, but then maybe because they are just tired of hearing the same gist over and over, and they're like, if you feel angry, if you feel offended by what I did or what I said, I'm sorry. But and Amaka, on the other hand, she felt like that apology wasn't very genuine, and Amaka didn't respond to it, but she was not even ready to let the issue linger, so she just let it slide. And yeah, that was, if I was in Amaka's shoes, I would have done same. So now, moving on, Ebuka diverted his attention to Groovy, right? I'll be back to Phyna, to Groovy, yeah, to ask at what point did they call it off in their relationship, what transpired, what led to the breakup. Because he said according to him, he heard a lot, he was seeing a lot of tweets, a lot of tags on social media. So he wanted Groovy and Phyna to clarify. Okay, so Groovy said that on his part there were so many reconcilable differences, so many issues coming up at different time, and they just had to call it quit. Groovy wasn't interested in going too much into details. He didn't want to share details with viewers because Ebuka had to ask him that what were those irreconcilable differences, and he said he doesn't want to go into all of that, but that he wasn't working and they called it quits. Ebuka asked him, was there physical violence involved in the relationship? He said no, he's not that kind of man to hit a woman. He has never done that before. He's not going to do it. They asked Phyna the same question. She said no, there was no physical violence, that she was accused of hitting I be slapping Groovy, but nothing of sorts happened. And then Groovy was like blaming Phyna that when his fans accused him, sorry, of sleeping with her PA, that she didn't react to it. They were just going back and forth, a little bit of back and forth. But then when it was Phyna's turn to speak, Phyna came at Groovy. She said that that the relationship was not a smooth one. They broke up in January, according to her. I mean, according to Groovy, they called it off in January. But then, only thing I figured out is that Phyna is clearly hurt due to the fact that Groovy is not that into her, and so I think he was using people, family, his mom, his sisters. He was using them as an excuse to like tell Phyna off. So she's hurt and she feels like he's not man enough. But I think that's Groovy trying to play her intelligence. He doesn't want to come out straight to tell her, see, I don't like your kind of person, you're too rash for me, you're not my kind of girl, you're not my type. But he's just trying to use his family, my mom this, my mom, although Phyna didn't come out straight to say that he was being influenced by his family, but one time when she spoke about it, you could deduce that that's what she's referring to. And at one point she called him mama's boy, that he's not man enough, he's confused. She was just throwing shades here and there. And back from the house, if you watch the show very well, you understand that Groovy was not that into Phyna. Maybe yes, he loved their friendship. He would want to have her as a friend, but not as someone he would date. And of course, there's no way possible for Groovy to pretend forever that he's in love with her when he actually doesn't fancy her that much. So it was bound to happen. The breakup was bound to happen. But Phyna clearly has not gotten over it. She's still hurt, and that was why she had that outburst. She was just screaming at him, coming at him, trying to call him names. But I'm glad that Groovy did not indulge her in that. When she's screaming, and Groovy would just keep quiet and allow her to do her thing. Like, two people cannot be mad at the same time. You cannot drag me in your mud. If that's how you operate, it's not how the other person operates, and it's fine. But really, I think by now Phyna should have worked on that part of her, on that side of her. You cannot be shouting at every little provocation. That you cannot have a decent conversation with people without raising your voice, without using harsh words, throwing insults. It's not what she should be portraying at this point. I guess we preach realness, be you, be real, show the world what you're made of, but that should be in the aspects where it's very positive, not the negative aspect of it. There should be a difference when a market woman is talking than compared to when Phyna is speaking. You cannot be comparing Phyna to a market woman. At her level, her status and everything is not making sense. If it's them, they'll say no jig at all. By now she should have worked on that, learned how to communicate properly in a public space. You can show that other aspects of you when you're in your house, when you are home with your people, your friends, your family, close circles. Okay, show them this is who I truly am. And it shouldn't always be often. Yeah, but when you're in a public gathering, there are cameras everywhere. This is a show that is going to be aired. Brands, everyone is looking out for you. I feel like that's not making sense. It's not making her look a certain way, and it's not good for her brand. It's not good for the status she has. It's not even good for a normal girl. Like, every normal girl, whether you're a celebrity or not, shouldn't be ras. It's not something to brag about. It's not something you should be proud of. If you're that because of the environment you grew up in, there's always opportunity for people to grow to grow up. Self-development is not just about growing financially. You should be able to grow mentally, physically, the way you communicate and all of that. That's part of self-development. So I really hope that Phyna will be able to look into that aspect of her, take it seriously and work on it. She's a smart girl and she can actually do it. She can do it. So now going over to the facts where she to the point where she said she played Groovy, that she understood he was playing a game and then she decided to play along with him. It was just so lame. Like, it was so lame and so funny watching her say all of that, because we knew how Phyna fell for Groovy, even though she knew the boy was not so much into him, because after every Thursday night party and Saturday night party, you will see Phyna asking Groovy, what are we? Do you love me? If you don't love me, just say it so that I will know. I'll just, just chest it and move on, stuff like that. And even then, Groovy she will always be disturbing Groovy. Tell me you love me. You've not told me you love me. How can you not love me? And Groovy will say, love is a strong word. I don't use it so easily. So those are pointers. Those were hints for her to know that this guy was not really into you. So that the fact that they broke up in January is not even a shock. In fact, I think Groovy tried, because from September, October, November, anyways, they said they broke up like 10 times. So yeah, that should have been all the signs she needed. Like, this guy was not into her. So saying that she decided to play along and now crying and saying that the guy is not man enough and all of this, now the guy it's you, Groovy, that actually used you. He played you, and when he got fed up, I think Phyna understood that there's no headway, in all of these things. So it's better we just call it quits. They just left, and dissolved the relationship. So she's saying she played him and all of that. That's so lame, because if you are going to be honest, it was Groovy that played this, gain more fame while when they came out of the house. So that was just that about the reunion. Just about Phyna and more of Groovy, because the issue with Amaka did not even last for long. For the better part of the show, Ebuka concentrated on Phyna and Groovy, and at some point Ebuka was even tired of the whole thing, and yeah, that was where they called it a wrap. So guys, that's it for that episode. Thank you for coming along and sticking with me till this point. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, drop your comments in the comment section, and yeah, I'll be signing out here. I'll definitely see you guys in my next video. Thank you guys for coming along with me. I appreciate it all, and bye for now.